The murder of James Bulger is a heart-wrenching and deeply disturbing case that shocked the United Kingdom and the world in 1993. This tragic story begins with the abduction of a toddler and ends with the arrest and conviction of 2 young boys for his brutal murder. In this video, we will delve into the full story of this horrifying crime, exploring the events leading up to it, the investigation, trial, and the lasting impact it had on the British legal system and society as a whole. On February 12, 1993, in the Bootle area of Liverpool, England, 2-year-old James Patrick Bulger was abducted from a shopping centre by 2 10-year-old boys, Robert Thompson and Jon Venables. The boys were strangers to James and his mother, Denise Fergus, who had momentarily looked away while paying at a butcher's shop. The security cameras in the shopping centre captured the chilling images of James being led away by the 2 boys. This footage would later become crucial evidence in the case. The boys took James on a walk that would lead to his untimely demise, a walk that would forever haunt the collective memory of the nation. Thompson and Venables led James on a 2.5-mile journey through the streets of Liverpool. The 2 boys were seen by several witnesses during this fateful walk, but no one suspected the sinister intentions behind their actions. During the journey, James was subjected to unimaginable cruelty. The boys threw paint in his eyes, kicked and punched him, and even hit him with bricks and a metal bar they had stolen. Despite the terrible injuries he suffered, James did not cry out for help. The innocence of his age and his trust in the 2 older boys would seal his tragic fate. The harrowing journey eventually led to a secluded railway track in Walton, where the boys carried out the final and most heinous act. There, they brutally beat James and finally killed him by dropping a 22-pound iron bar onto his head. His injuries were so severe that it was difficult to determine the exact cause of death. After the murder, Thompson and Venables left James's lifeless body on the railway tracks, covering his remains with bricks and stones in a vain attempt to make it look like an accident. They then walked away, leaving behind a scene of unimaginable horror. James's disappearance was immediately reported to the police, and a massive search operation was launched to find the missing toddler. His mother, Denise Fergus, was desperate for any news of her son's whereabouts, unaware of the gruesome fate that had befallen him. 2 days after his abduction, James's battered body was discovered by children playing near the railway tracks. His injuries were so severe that it was initially believed he had been hit by a train. However, as the investigation unfolded, the true horror of his murder became clear. The discovery of James Bulger's body set off a nationwide manhunt for his killers. The CCTV footage from the shopping centre proved to be a vital clue, as it showed the 2 young boys leading James away. This footage was widely circulated in the media, and the public was asked for assistance in identifying the suspects. Eventually, Thompson and Venables were recognised by a woman who had seen them with James. They were arrested and taken into custody on February 20th, 1993. Just over a week after the murder. Their shocking ages sent shockwaves throughout the country. The trial of Robert Thompson and Jon Venables began on November 1st, 1993, at the Preston Crown Court. The prosecution painted a horrifying picture of the abduction and murder of James Bulger, detailing the brutality of the crime in chilling detail. Both Thompson and Venables were charged with the abduction and murder of James. The case was complicated by the fact that the accused were only 10 years old at the time of the crime, making them the youngest defendants in modern British legal history to be charged with murder. The defense argued that the boys were too young to fully understand the consequences of their actions and that they had been influenced by violent and graphic films. Despite these arguments, the jury found Thompson and Venables guilty of the charges. On November 24, 1993, Judge Justice Morland sentenced Thompson and Venables to be detained at Her Majesty's pleasure, essentially an indefinite period of custody. He emphasized the shocking nature of the crime and the need to protect society from these two young killers. The sentencing decision was met with both public outrage and support. Many believed that the boys should be tried as adults and receive life sentences. Others felt that their age and troubled backgrounds should be taken into account. Robert Thompson and Jon Venables were sent to separate secure facilities for juvenile offenders. Over the years, they underwent extensive therapy and rehabilitation programs. Their true identities were protected by court order to shield them from potential harm by the public. The case of James Bulger's murder raised important questions about the treatment and rehabilitation of young offenders. It sparked debates about whether children who commit such heinous crimes should be held fully accountable or given a chance for rehabilitation. The Bulger case had a profound impact on the British legal system. In response to public outcry and concerns about juvenile offenders, the government introduced significant legal reforms. The Crime and Disorder Act 1998 made it easier to try juveniles as adults in cases of serious crimes. The case also led to changes in the way child witnesses are interviewed and supported during trials, recognizing the traumatic impact of such experiences on young individuals. In 2001, it was announced that Robert Thompson and Jon Venables were to be released on parole after serving their minimum sentences. This decision was met with widespread opposition and fears for the safety of the two boys, who were now young men. Both Thompson and Venables were given new identities and relocated to different parts of the country. The decision to release them continued to generate controversy and debate, with many feeling that they had not served a sufficient sentence for the gravity of their crime. The murder of James Bulger remains a haunting and tragic chapter in British criminal history. It serves as a chilling reminder of the depths of cruelty that humans, even children, can be capable of. James Bulger's legacy lives on in the hearts of those who loved him, and in the collective consciousness of a nation forever changed by his tragic story. Hey, thanks for watching, you guys. What are your thoughts on this case? Do you know similar stories? Let me know in a comment, and before you go, make sure you like and subscribe. See you next time, and take care.